Welcome to another great edition of Scaling with Insights, where we bring in top industry leaders to share their insights of what's working well to scale their businesses. My name is John Russo. I'm a former CMO turned entrepreneur. Now I'm helping other businesses scale, grow, and measure their business for effectiveness. Hey, we got a terrific episode today. I've got Corey Geyer, who recently was promoted to Vice President of Revenue Operations at 6sense. Corey, I am super excited to have you on the show. I would love to have you introduce yourself.
John, hey, Corey Geyer here. I'm happy to be here as well. Thanks for having me. I run, as you mentioned, our revenue operations team at 6sense, and we are an account-based orchestration platform. So love talking about how teams go to market.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you investing some time here. And you and I have had a few conversations about kind of the future of marketing with like one funnel and one view. In your experience, what have you seen there, or what do you think is the future of marketing on that one funnel, or sales and marketing on that one funnel?
Yeah, I think back 15 years ago when SiriusDecisions came out with their original demand unit waterfall, and it was so great because all of us had a chance to really have a process that we were greatly lacking at the time in terms of trying to get everyone to work from the same page. You jump ahead to where we're at now, and all these account-based conversations, and where they kind of stem from was kind of the lack of trust that people were having. First, on just the accounts, like we have a great person, a great title we're talking to, but what about the actual accounts? And are they the right accounts in the first place? But then on top of that, what is actually happening in terms of the broader account, broader intent at that account, meaning right account, right person, but the collective intent across that entire account is not the right level. And so, you jump ahead to where we're at today with all the different tools and all the different data and everything else. And I think companies do have an opportunity to think about this single unified funnel that incorporates, the classic inbound, incorporates the hot inbound, like the people I want to talk to you right now, the hand raisers, plus all of the outbound scenarios that you could imagine where you have the right accounts showing the right intent, kind of in that single unified funnel approach.
Yeah, I can totally see that, what you're talking about. I mean, we see a lot of the classics. You mentioned Sirius, the classic lead generation model, and then you bring in ABM into the picture, and people are sometimes tilting their head and saying, well, how do I measure ABM, or how do I go about doing this? And all of a sudden you have 2, possibly 3 funnels with sales. Yeah. So bringing it into one view becomes super important to do. You mentioned intent as part of that. How do you see intent playing into the mix of the unified funnel, just out of curiosity?
Yeah. I like to think about it both from a third party as well as a first party standpoint. So third party meaning what's all the research that your prospects, your customers are doing across third party websites. Think of like competitor research, partner research, even just general like services or solutions keyword research. Then on the first party, this is like the tricky one, because first party, everyone always thinks about like the classic website, like people coming to your website, checking out who you guys are, trying to really match those anonymous visits, to your own company. But also you have all that intent that's kind of locked away in all your internal systems. Think of Salesforce, think of all your marketing automation systems. That's really hard to to aggregate all that into one single picture that says, based upon the size of account, we know that we should have 5 people or 10 people kind of doing the right level of intent. And now we're kind of mashing all that together to say, yes, we're going to actually flag that account as the collective amount of first and third party is now saying we want to go after this account.
Makes a ton of sense there. So basically what you're saying is that the intent, if I'm hearing you right, is a way to prioritize even the accounts to go after from a sales or even a marketing perspective. And that's how you kind of loop it in. Thinking about the measurement side of that process, and after you get through the account selection piece, in our experience, it takes time to get that unified funnel process kind of going or reporting. And when I say time, it could be 3 to 6 month time period, and it's an investment of time and energy. In your experience, is there any advice that you would give for companies that are maybe looking at ABM and trying to measure for the first time? Or should they be looking for that single funnel? Should they be doing ABM measurement differently? Like, what are you seeing out of curiosity?
I think it's going to be really hard if you're coming from more of a traditional lead or MQL model to go wholesale, in 3 to 6 months into a single unified funnel across all of your different divisions and kind of go-to-market teams. So what I like to tell people when I talk to a lot of our customers and kind of thinking through how they want to approach this is that take one specific go-to-market team. Might be your commercial team. It might be like a vertical team or an enterprise team. And then even within that one go-to-market team, think about like a pilot group. So very specifically, it might only be an outbound use case where we're picking up certain intent signal, third-party intent, or maybe it's partner intent, or it's like third-party review intent, like G2 or Trust Radius. Whatever it is, take like one go-to-market team and then one specific use case within that and start to pilot that. And very quickly, you will get wins, and then you have to think about what's next. And over the course of, depending on the size and complexity of your organization, I think it's a journey. It's a 12 to 24 month journey in all reality.
Yeah, I agree with you that it takes time to get there because you're talking about change management and process changes and go-to-market changes, and not everybody has that appetite for the change. But you're right; it is an investment of time and energy. Maybe last business question in terms of you talk to a lot of customers on ABM. We've had a lot of experiences too, and we're starting to see a lot more companies this year either dabble or go deeper into ABM than maybe even past years. And it's hard to compare year over year because this is such a crazy year with COVID and the whole 9 yards. What are you seeing trend-wise, ABM macro? Like in your conversations with clients, what are they most interested in relative to ABM?
I think it's the actual orchestration piece of it. So if you think back about what ABM used to mean, is I'm an old sales guy, so it's like, let's actually create an account plan and do very specific sales and marketing activity that's very manual in nature, right? So we have this big giant whale account. Let's target all these specific lunch and learn events and outreach campaigns and ads and content and everything else towards this one account, kind of one-to-one. Then with all the kind of ABM tools coming in, we took a very kind of marketing centric approach to start to scale that. Now what I think people are saying is like, let's do the kind of full funnel orchestration of it all. And so it's all the different marketing touch points along the way, but it's also kind of the sales and even downstream customer success, kind of upsell expansion type use cases as well. So, I think about it as like, how do we start to really scale the orchestration all the way from getting the right accounts assigned in the first place to then who's exactly responsible for each point in that journey.
Yeah, there's a lot there. It's ABM is not an easy process at all. You mentioned so many different things there about the scalability and the account planning process, which can be a process in and of itself. It's definitely interesting times to see a lot of companies going full steam ahead with ABM, and it's a good change too. I think a change for the better. Maybe just wrapping up here, and you and I were talking earlier. It sounds like you're big time into both fitness and cooking, which is a unique combination, but I guess they're complementary there. It doesn't really fit in with the ABM and the revenue ops, but tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I had this vision that, like we all did, I was going to do something else when I was in college. We all then grow up one day and we have to make money and get into IT and everything else, right? So, but I wanted to start a gym in college, so that kind of got me interested in fitness and health and everything else. And you jump ahead to many, many years later, decades later, when it's just kind of a lifestyle now. So. Really, really enjoyed cooking every night with COVID, staying home, not traveling. You get all kinds of opportunities to do that.
I'll tell you what, there have been advantages. I agree with you on the no travel. It's going to be interesting when that kicks back in and when CFOs allow that travel to happen again and invest. It'll be really interesting times.
Yeah.
Corey, really appreciate, I know how busy you are, and appreciate we're able to catch up today.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.